At Temple University on this day, 4th and 5th graders from 5 schools in Philadelphia attending the DEA Youth Drug Summit loved showing off their best hip-hop moves at this hip-hop fundamentals class. The day away from their classrooms was filled with other educational and motivational experiences too, including meeting mentors from the Temple University football team who signed autographs and took pictures.
That's a good one.
A spin at a wheel that taught about making drug-free choices, and a personal look at the very busy Ben Salem Police Canine Karma, trained to sniff out illegal drugs. Much like a pep rally, more than 350 kids cheered loud and proud for their schools at the program that is part of the DEA's 360 strategy program.
Even as a parent, it is overwhelming to see the access of drugs in the communities, and we just have to find ways to educate kids even younger and younger.
The DEA 360 Strategy Initiative is a three-prong approach to combating the opioid epidemic: law enforcement, regulatory oversight, and also community outreach.
DEA, we're trying to do a couple things. As you know, from 3 to 7, that's when really the kids are susceptible to bad decisions. We have a DEA dance program. We have a DEA mural arts program. We're trying to get out into the community, law enforcement community, us, but we definitely want to get out there and help our citizens of Philadelphia.
Weeks prior to the event, the children from the Kensington and Fair Hill sections of the city put their drawing skills to work on posters and wrote essays about why it's important not to use drugs. Some students sharing how it's impacted them and their neighborhoods. At Taylor Bayard School, we had the chance to sit down with 3 students: Ezekiel, Anaya, and John. They helped create their school's summit poster with the theme, "Drugs Not in My Neighborhood," and read aloud to me what they wrote.
Because there can be a little kid, he sees it and he can hurt himself.
Drugs make people go crazy, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to be like that when I grow up.
I'm not going to do drugs because I want to go to college and play football. I want to have a family, and I don't want to mess up.
Michelle Gaynor is their teacher.
They also need to have goals for their future that they are fixated on, because that's what gives them the emotional stamina to be able to see things that are upsetting every day and to hold their heads high and know that that's not going to be their life and that's not what they're going to bring back to their community.
Her students' words and the words of other youngsters participating in the summit would have a profound impact on college students in a poetry as performance class at Temple University.
It's my life, my life.
The college students were charged with using the elementary school essays and poems along with their own work to create a presentation for the summit.
My neighbors across the street are...
Nia Fraser was overcome with emotion talking about her poem called "Killing Ourselves,"
would stop shooting, selling drugs.
using the work of a 4th grader. She sees it as a way to help students impacted by this epidemic to heal.
When they're not alone, they have people who are trying to help, trying to be a resource to them.
21-year-old Will Ledford was practicing a spoken word piece written by a young student about happiness.
It sounds like music, it smells like cake, tastes like chocolate.
For him, performing the piece was a way to help others and relates to a personal experience of his own.
My family does have a history of alcoholism, so this is very important to me, and it's very important to me that these kids learn the signs and kind of get it ingrained early that these aren't substances that you should be messing around with.
They're stopping and saying some very important things like, I want to be able to go outside of my house and play, and I can't because of drug dealing or drive-bys or whatever the issue is in their neighborhood. And then they, as students, they went, wow, that's a shame. They don't get to experience childhood the way we do or we did. And so you get to see the other person's life in a very real way.
But it's the feeling of learning in a fun and dynamic environment that DEA believes can support education about the opioid epidemic and lifelong prevention. And on this day, students learned a lot.
And that drugs can give you heart attacks, they're bad for your lungs, and they're bad for your family because it can also give you depression too.